This an all-out blitz, real hard hits, them other podcast trash, we gon' make them all quit. We cover all the topics with intelligence and logic. I know you wanna score, but ID gon' stop it. We from Texas, so that mean that we Texans. Breaking down the X's and O's, our profession. No complaining, just training, you see the progression. They had a Pro Bowl for talk shows, we get selected. We gon' celebrate every win like a birthday. Ray J with the news, first with all the updates. Spin move on the competition, yeah, we juking them. You not really in touch if you not tuning in. This is Crenshaw, Briggs, and VT. We want the touchdown, we not trying to go for 3. And it's best if you get up out the street, cause them bulls out the pen and they bout to stampede.
Welcome to the Texans Fan Battle Podcast. I'm your host, of course, Matthew Briggs, and always I got my amazing trio. First off, I got Mr. Fifth Ward Crenshaw himself. What's up, man?
What it do? What it do?
And always, guys, we got a little but big brother, Mr. VT.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I'm excited to have one of my favorite guests on the show again.
That's right. Thank you for doing my job, VT. Guys, if you are a diehard Texans fan, you know this man very well. He was with us from the beginning and still here. We got Mr. Jonathan Wells. What's going on, sir?
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing? Y'all hear me good over there? Good?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Hey, I gotta ask, man, who was that on the opening song? Man, that's kind of hard. Y'all might have the hardest podcast song out here right now.
Hey, we gotta be the best, right?
That's one of my homeboys. His name Mike, man. He be rapping them and shit, man.
Oh, okay, yeah, he went in on that thing. All right.
Already.
It's the only good thing he does because he's a Cowboys fan. So you know,
Right.
you know,
We had to ruin it, huh?
you know. So, Jonathan, tell us, man, how you liking this NFL season so far?
To be honest with you, man, before last week, I was very concerned. You know, the team being decimated with injuries like this, nobody can ever predict that. You're talking about losing an entire starting offensive line. I was very worried for my guy, C.J. Stroud, and my running back, Dameon Pierce. But fortunately, we've had some guys step in there, step up, play good football last week, and they was able to go out there and shock the world. So I'm excited. I'm excited about this week, and I think we have a shot to beat Pittsburgh. I really think we do.
Oh, all right. We'll get some more of that. In a second, let's talk about some NFL news. Jonathan, man, you see those Dolphins put up 70 on the Broncos?
I heard about it. I didn't see it yet. That's unheard of in the NFL, man. I don't know what's going on in Denver. Don't really care, but you know, hey, kudos to them.
Well, you're a former player, you know, and I'm at work and talking to people. Everybody's always like, "Oh, that's bad sportsmanship. How dare they go up 70 points?" As a player, what's your opinion on that?
If you don't like it, stop it.
There you go.
Exactly what I've been saying.
You don't want to score no more, put your hand in the dirt and stop them. This football. These people get paid to be out here. What they supposed to pull up off the gas for you for what? Nah, punish them. I'm with it.
I agree. Crenshaw, I know you don't like neither team, so tell me about it. What do you think?
I just saw the score. I didn't see the game, but I got a question for Jonathan. How many times when you was at Ohio State, you guys put up 70?
Man, I'm gonna keep it real. I wasn't on a great era of Ohio State. I played on one great team. That was my freshman year. We were number one in the country for like the first 11 weeks of the year. After that, we kind of fell off the wagon. I mean, my last 2 years, we were one game away from going to the Big Ten championship or whatever you want to call it. But we wasn't like that, bro. We made some terrible personnel decisions. The coaching staff did, and after my freshman year, we took some major losses at major positions. So it wasn't like that.
Okay, so it's more the later era of Ohio State putting up 70 points on teams.
No, it's before. It was the
early
93, 94, the Eddie George and them.
Eddie George. Okay.
He was doing that. And in 98, my freshman year, like I said, we ended number 2 in the country. So we continued that tradition. We led the country in scoring. We scored about 45, 50 points a game that year. So I played on one great offense. I just wasn't the starter. And after that, like I said, we had some fall off at major positions, and we weren't nowhere near as dangerous as that. Now, mind you, after I left, we won a national championship the next year when I was a rookie here, but we weren't scoring a lot of points then either. That was defense and special teams for sure.
Okay, well, that score looked like an old Ohio State game, so that's what I was leading up to.
I was just talking to Indy on the podcast they got, and he was talking about he was on the Rice team that went to Ohio State, and they put 70 on them.
Oh, okay.
That was before I got there, though.
Okay. BT, Tua was out there doing his best impersonation of Patrick Mahomes, throwing some behind-the-back passes. What do you think about that game?
First of all, that no-look shovel pass was insane. I loved it. And then they tried it again and succeeded. I mean, I'm loving it. I mean, it's pretty hard to hate on Tua. I have to say personally, though, everyone, I mean, most people know the story about, how I got Brown Sugar Bear and my friend that passed away and why I keep that. He was a huge Dolphins fan. He's the one that got me into fantasy football and how I became a Texans fan. And so I know he's looking down on heaven saying, hell yeah, finally, my team is rocking. So I just got to say, man, the Dolphins are rocking, and HR buddy, you're looking down and you're happy as hell.
All right. Well, speaking of the Dolphins, 3 teams are left. The Eagles, Dolphins, and Niners are the only undefeated team. Jonathan, do you see any other making a deep run undefeated, or you think they're
no? Nobody's going undefeated, guys. We got.
Well, yeah, I know that, but you see
what proof we need.
Right.
I got to see it to believe it. I think everybody lose a game or 2 at least. But yeah, I don't see anybody being undefeated this year.
Oh yeah, well, I completely agree with you. Who do you think?
Who can make a deep run?
Yeah.
Oh, all 3 of these teams. Definitely the Eagles, obviously. You know what I'm saying? The 49ers was in the same position as them last year. They just lost 3 quarterbacks. So both of those teams can easily get back to the NFC Championship game and be facing one another again. And the Dolphins, I think the AFC is wide open. I don't think there's a clear-cut favorite in the AFC right now. So I think they can sneak in there and make some noise.
As long as Tua stays healthy, right?
Come on, injuries, guys. We know how it goes.
Oh yeah, 110% right. We're going through that right now. Chris, what about you? Who do you think?
I think it'll be the Eagles. Eagles gonna have just like last year, gonna start off 7-8-0 and everything. But out of those 3 teams, I'll tell you the Eagles is the most complete team. And I think they're gonna go and represent the Super Bowl once again.
Back to back, huh? Okay.
Yeah, back to back.
All
right, VT, what about you?
I actually disagree with Crenshaw here. What's new? But I think the Eagles' offense is struggling without Steichen. Honestly, we saw that. Yes, they came back after a little bit after when they played against Tampa, but they started off really, really slow. And they are a very complete team. But you would think against a team like Tampa, they should have murdered them from the start. And I think their offense will start to click, but not like Miami. And the 49ers are just amazing. Even though, Brock Purdy is still pretty new as a quarterback, he's playing like, a 5th or 6th year vet. I actually think it's going to be a 49ers and Dolphins Super Bowl. That's what I think the way it's going right now.
Okay.
Let me ask you this. So
go ahead.
You guys got to stop with I expected them to go out there and murder these guys. You guys do know that you can't predict this stuff. If last week didn't teach us anything, it taught us that you can never count out any NFL team on any given Sunday.
You're right.
He's still the best in the world. Anybody can be beat on any Sunday. So I don't look. I know the players don't go into the game talking about, we're gonna blow them out. It don't really work like that. Not really.
Yeah. Oh, I completely agree with you, and you're right. Sunday's proof. So let's move on to it. Jaguars versus the Texans at home in Jacksonville. Like you said, Jonathan, the list of injuries is about as long as Santa Claus's 90 or nice list. Like, it's through the roof. Yeah. Before the game, what was your thoughts? I know
I wasn't expecting to win just like anybody else. I mean, everybody across the country picked the Texans to lose this week. You know what I'm saying? And rightfully so. You're not going in there expecting those guys to play out of their mind like that. So, but now that we have seen that, I need that to continue. But I definitely didn't think that they was going to go in there and do what they did for sure. Now I knew that they would be gritty because we hate Jacksonville, and we've been dominating Jacksonville since I've been there. I was 6-2 against them, so they bad. So you know what I'm saying? So we just 10 out of 11 games. We done beat them in the last 11 games. You know what I'm saying? So I knew it would be competitive. I just didn't know if we could go in there and actually get it done with that many guys out.
All right. Well, what was the highlight of what if you're a coach, what were you circling was the most impressive? I mean, I kind of have a feeling what it is, but go ahead and tell me.
Listen, you score touchdowns. You can move the ball all day, but if you can't score touchdowns in the National Football League, you're going to lose. We put the ball in the end zone. Even with Damian Pierce, okay, he didn't have a lot of yards, but guess what? Getting in that end zone early instead of having to settle for 3, that's a big momentum thing for me. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like I think that the big plays, CJ obviously not throwing any interceptions is huge. Him not throwing any interceptions right now is the most impressive thing that I've seen. I wanted to see him get rattled. I wanted to see him get hit. I wanted to see him against this NFL pass rush. And as of now, the kid is manning up, man. I'm proud of him.
Oh yeah, I am already saying that it's the right pick at number 2. I'm glad we did the right move and went CJ Stroud. I'm glad we didn't move up to get Bryce Young. I'm glad, right? Your eyes said it all.
There's many people talking like that around here. Yeah. I know most of the people I know wanted Bryce Young. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah. So I'm glad we got them, and I'm glad we look. Yes, it cost an arm and a leg to get Will Anderson, but I'm glad we were hopping on one leg and have one arm because the dude is a beast. Without him, the momentum doesn't swing in our favor. Yep. So I'm happy for the addition of that, but let me get your opinion on Andrew Beck's return for a touchdown, like a fullback. Like I think it's only been once since like 2005 or something like that. Well, what do you think about that?
I had like a 60-yard return, but I didn't make it all the way in. But listen, that was the play of the game for me. Because if you think about it, they had just went down and scored. The game was getting back tight. We was getting a little tense. Nico had just dropped a third down pass. Their guy comes and makes an incredible catch on third down. They get points. That kickoff return was the reason we won that football game. I that's just my personal opinion. If we don't score there, it's very likely that we have to punt that ball, and their offense was rolling at that time. But once he made that play, that took the gas out of the stadium, and then we was able to run it up on them from there.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I kind of think that was the nail in the coffin, right? Like that's all she wrote. The fat.
It wasn't a nail in the coffin, but it gave us breathing room and confidence.
Right,
and then CJ the Tank Dale was a nail in the coffin.
True that. But just like I said earlier, the momentum, because you were saying they were building that momentum, and I was like, oh shit,
exactly.
Here we go, Kansas City all over again,
Yeah.
And then boom, he runs for 4, and it just like I said, it was a different game. The energy, beautiful. The Texans' energy was different. The Jaguars seemed like they were beat, and of course, as you can tell, 37-17, they finally were beat. So, BT, I know you and Crenshaw kind of talked after the game. Real quick, what was your thoughts on it?
I just got to say, can I get an amen for having CJ Stroud?
I pray every day.
Expect CJ Stroud to develop this quickly after week 3? Because I did not. I don't think anyone did. We are surprising so many people. It is great to actually watch national sports news now and actually have us up in the power rankings. We're no longer a 30, 31, or 32 team. At worst, we're in the 20s, and at best, we're literally at the 13th and 15th spot. I mean, CJ Stroud has turned this team around in 3 weeks. Now, obviously, it's not all on him, right? We got Bobby Slowick doing his thing. We got D'Amico Ryans that got the defense to show up. We got Frank Ross and Andrew Beck and Will Anderson making plays in special teams. I mean, it was a team effort with 14 injuries. 14 injuries. We whooped their ass. And CJ Stroud was a huge part of it. And now I can confidently say that I can never say that we don't have a chance with CJ Stroud because he's that much of an X factor. I am so happy to have CJ Stroud and not get Bryce Young or another quarterback that I feel like literally we can walk in there, even if we're down by 3 touchdowns. I can say, you know what, CJ can bring us back. That is not a feeling I've had in a very, very long time.
Listen, it's yet to be determined. We still got a long way to go, but we are off to an amazing start, further along than anybody could have imagined, especially without his offensive line. So I agree with you, but we gotta crawl before we walk, baby. It's a long season. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, not even the offensive line, right? Like your captain on the defense, Petrie being out, your best tackler on the field, Perriman being out, your best run stopper, Ridgeway being out. Like it was just a recipe for it's gonna be like a blowout, right? Like, but like you said, any given Sunday, and I think it's the mindset of D'Amico and Bobby Slowick, and of course CJ Stroud. Like, I don't think CJ Stroud is getting the love that he deserves. And Crenshaw mentioned this on Sunday on the recap, but his warm ups, like, that just brings all kind of energy. Him playing basketball after golfing, like, the dude just brings a different type of energy, and that's what we're missing, right? The culture. D'Amico bring it back. And I think it's the swing of a new era. Crenshaw, speak to me. What do you think, Bob?
Well, Jonathan, you came on this very show before and you told us that CJ was the right quarterback. And you gave a great dialogue, and people wasn't listening then, but I bet the motherfuckers listening now.
Hey, they ain't gonna give you my props, bro. They gonna
we will though. We will though, bro.
I'm like, man, he was not screaming no CJ Stroud. Knock it off, man.
Yes.
So it's all good. It's all good.
So you've been putting in the ear, but it's cool. People finally waking up, man. And like BT said, no, didn't think it was gonna happen this quick. And like you said, we still gotta crawl before we walk. Let's continue week after week and get better and get better and get better. But like, he's not rattled. He know that we're down players, but it's not going to stop him. And like you said, we could beat anybody. We could beat anybody, man. So I'm very, very, very excited about what's going to happen.
I definitely stood on that CJ Stroud business because I stood on it mostly because of the person he is and the young man that he is. I knew he would be a great fit if you're trying to renew your organization. He was the type of leader that would be good for us. But I still had to see him up against that NFL pass rush. That made many great quarterbacks crumble and fall. So I was still, I had to see it myself. But
same.
I'm good. I've seen enough. But once again, we can't get complacent. We got to stay humble. We got to stay working. But I know the type of kid he is, and I have zero doubts that that's what he's going to do. That's why we're in a great position as an organization.
And I'll double down on what you said. With from week one, right? We've been down offensive lineman, and what he could do without being with running for his life, being sacked 11 times. I know we didn't get they didn't get no sacks Sunday, but the thing is, D'Amico. I've been saying this. I'm going to keep saying it. D'Amico Ryans has been saying we got to get 1% better every day, and dude. The proof is in the pudding. Like, it's there. Obviously, CJ Stroud taking that to heart. BT said it last week. Every time he makes a mistake, you don't see the same mistake. He's learning. He is a learner of the game. And I love that, because to me, the last great learner that we had was Peyton Manning. And if it can be anywhere close to Peyton, I'm not.
You mean in the entire league?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Just the way he does it. Like I said, once he makes a mistake, it's kind of he learns from it. Hey, don't get me wrong. I think Patrick Mahomes might be the greatest to ever play the game when it's said and done. But he still makes the same mistakes. He quite don't learn. Hey, I need to do this. I need to do that. CJ Stroud, of course.
Small sample size.
Right. It's still early in his career. I'm not saying it's going to be like that, but for him to do this now,
we're encouraged.
Right.
It is a small sample size, but I gotta say that if you look at what the doubts were in college, right? The doubts were that he was never under pressure, really, and when he was under pressure, he dropped his completion rate from 70% to 40%. But if you look at him in the NFL, last week, I got the stats here. He was 8 for 11 for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns when the Jaguars blitzed him. Let's compare that to the Colts game. The Colts game, he was 4 for 7 and 44 yards. For the Ravens game, he was 6 of 10 for 67 yards. And in the Jaguars game, when they tried, he scored 2 touchdowns and put 130 yards on them. I mean, the development from when he's under pressure is not something to be taken lightly. I mean, he's learning. We're going to talk about this in obviously in a few moments we talk about the Steelers game, but he's going to have another challenge coming up with the left tackle gone. And it will be interesting to see how he overcomes that. And honestly, I feel like there's going to be some hurdles there, but I think he can still get the job done.
Now, I'll tell you when I was really comfortable with him in the Baltimore game, when he was able to escape like 4 to 5 flat out blitzers that were untouched. I said, he's gonna be just fine. He can move enough. He can scramble enough. You notice every time he's scrambling, his eyes are down the field. He does not take his eyes off and down the field. He's always looking to move the ball down the field. So I knew after the first game, I felt pretty confident about it, but still got to see that improvement week to week, which we're seeing. And this week, we hope he gets even better.
Oh yeah. Well, great segue, Jonathan. I appreciate it, man. Well, let's jump into it. The Steelers versus Texans. It's a big game for the Texans, not just because of the building on last week's win, but you got the great J.J. Watt being inducted to the Hall of Fame of the Ring of Honor, and his brothers are there. So I mean, what an honor. Will you be there in attendance, Jonathan?
Oh yeah, it's homecoming week, so we got all the former players coming back. They got us staying downtown from Friday to Monday at a hotel. We got several events all weekend long, so yeah, we're gonna be turning up for JJ all weekend long. We actually gonna be on the field with him at halftime as he's getting inducted and all of that. So now it's a full weekend ahead, man. Houston gonna be jumping this weekend, and I can't wait.
So, I know the answer, but JJ Watt. He deserves it 110%, right? The Ring of Honor.
Can I tell y'all a secret?
Sure.
Go ahead.
I never seen him play. In the Texans. I told y'all, remember, when I left the league in 2006, 2007, I did not watch NFL until 2-3 years ago at all. Zero. No Texans, no nothing. There wasn't Ohio State in my high school. I wasn't watching it. So I missed that whole run. I've seen highlights, obviously lately, but I wasn't a part of the organization when he had his run. But obviously his accolades, the type of person that he is, all of that speaks for itself. I didn't have to be here to hear about it, but I did not get to witness it in person.
Okay, well, it sucks because it was something great to watch, but
obviously.
You said you seen the highlight, so I mean that speaks for itself.
I got to play with one of them. I got to play with Dre, so it's all good. I take Dre. It's all good.
Yeah, I mean those two, right? The goats easily, offense and defense. Well, Jonathan, what do you with left tackle Josh Jones probably not being able to play? Tunsil probably gonna miss week 3, and then Perryman and Shaq Griffin not really practicing. What do you expect us to do against the Steelers defense or offense?
Well, like I said, I'm going to expect everybody that shows up as one of that 53-man unit to step up and play great football. You know what I'm saying? That's why we're getting paid. When it's your time to get called, this is your opportunity to go out there and prove that you belong in the National Football League. So I expect you to go out there and make plays. Now, does it make it easy on us? Absolutely not. Obviously, we're fighting an uphill battle every week that we go into a game down this many people. We're fighting an uphill battle. But I'm just going to go out there and just expect everybody to continue to play out of their mind and everybody continue to make plays when they need to make plays, make it a very competitive game, and we pull it out in the end. I'm taking the Texans this week, point blank period.
Oh, I love it. All right.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett ain't scaring nobody, that's for sure.
I mean, you're speaking nothing but facts since you've been on the show. So I mean, you're on the roll already. BT, tell us what you got.
I think there's a couple things we have to note, and obviously D'Amico already knows this. But for those that don't know, Steelers have the third worst rush defense in the league, so that's something that we can exploit. Now we had this. I was having this conversation yesterday. I tagged Crenshaw in it because we had this conversation in the preseason. And we had 713 and Harley Dugan on when Crenshaw's hot take was that Singletary might have more yards than Dameon Pierce. And one of the things I've noticed when I've been watching with moderate, the moderate Texan, shout out to the moderate Texan and XO, is that Dameon Pierce is not following his blockers the way that he's supposed to. Now, it's a different scheme, so I understand that it takes some time, but Singletary is. And I wonder if they put Singletary as RB1 for the Steelers game to be able to take advantage of this, or they go out and still run with Dameon Pierce. I understand you're shaking.
Yeah,
I know you're shaking your head, but just hear me out for a second. So I'm not saying that they just, don't run Dameon Pierce. He's still X in those short yard situations. That 2-yard run that he had against the Jags, I mean, that should be an angry run by itself. I know it was only 2 yards, but that was a hard part, 2 yards. He's still a great short yard running back, and he will continue to grow. But I'm saying specifically for this game, Singletary is following his blockers. He's getting more yards per carry. He's been more effective on less carries. And so I think that if they want to exploit the hole that the Steelers have in their defense, because they have actually a pretty good passing defense, but what they don't have is a good rush defense, that they possibly give more carries this time to Singletary than Dameon Pierce. We can control the time of possession. The one thing that the Steelers offense does have, they have a horrible offense, don't get me wrong. But the one good thing that they have is that that's a stat that I wanted to say, is that when they get to the red zone, they score 67% of the time, as opposed to us. Like obviously we are scoring touchdowns, but in terms of efficiency, we're still low on that side, right? We are excellent third down conversions. We're literally, honestly, elite when it comes down to third down conversions. There's no doubt about it. But we're still kicking too many field goals. So what I'm saying is that the Steelers, they don't get there very often, but when they get there, they get it. They put it in. They put the ball in the end zone. So in order for us to keep them out of the end zone, we need to win the time of possession. You do that with the run game, and you potentially do that with Devin Singletary. Since you've been shaking your head, you got to let me know what you're thinking, Jonathan.
No, I feel you. Singletary had a really good game. I spoke about it right after the game. 4-minute offense, which is my favorite time in the game. When you have a lead, everybody knows you need to run the football in the damn stadium, and you still line up and run it. He was very effective in that area. So I definitely gave him props after the last game. I love all the running backs, but I'm a DP fan. That's my guy. I rock with DP. I think he's being maybe a little impatient on some of his runs right now. I know he wants to break that big one. I shoot him a text every week like, hey, it's going to slow down for you because he missed the last 4 games of last year. So he trying to get back into his rhythm. Offensive line there's not a lot of holes out there. Let's keep it real. So, he's been getting banged up a little bit, but that's how it goes. Keep running hard, keep plugging. But what he did do last week, he made plays in the passing game. So he was getting those 3, 4, 7-yard receptions to make sure that we can stay on schedule. A lot of times you don't have to go all the way down the field all like that. We lived on that, dropping the ball off the double D, dropping the ball off to the running back, and converting first downs that way. So CJ is doing a great job of taking what they're giving him. But I think DP gonna be fine, man. He a dog. Once he break that first long run, he gonna be back in business. Watch what I'm telling you.
I love it.
So let me ask you another question, Jonathan. So do you think this is something that Slovic needs to change? So under center, they were under center 27 times. Under center, they ran 21 times and they passed 6 times. Under shotgun, they passed 23 times and they ran the ball 4 times. And so do you think that they need to switch up how many times they call run plays out of center and shotgun? Because right now it seems if they continue that tendency that it's going to be a run play, whether you're in shotgun or center.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to make that adjustment. We got to remember, guys, we got a first-time play caller, first time ever calling plays. Everything that we're looking at is a work in progress. This is the first year of the real rebuild. Let's think about it. The last 2 coaches, we knew damn well those guys were not the long-term answers. Let's keep it a buck. We
Right.
finally just got the long-term answer. So you're looking at everything you're looking at is a work in progress. I've seen major improvements from the play calling from week 1 to week 3 when it comes to protecting CJ Stroud. They've done a great job of using max protection, giving him time back there, not leaving the tackles one-on-one. So I see some small adjustments that he's making week to week, and I think he's doing a good job so far. They just got to continue to mix it up because obviously people will get on your tendencies if not.
And also to keep it like it's being simplified too, because like you said, week 1 there was a lot. They had burned out a lot of timeouts. They had to hurry up and but wasn't quite ready. Now you can see that it's getting better and better and better. And last week, of course, it was perfection. So yeah, I agree with you. Some of these Texans fans, man, they expect Rome to be built today, like Super Bowl bound. I get it too.
Paying their money. I get it.
Right,
And
right.
but I always got to remind them, guys, you got to stop acting like the Texans been trash for the last 15 years. That's not the case. You were just in the playoffs 3 years ago.
Right.
So it's not like you've been on a 10, 15-year rebuild. Really?
Yeah,
Give us
been
another year. We're going to be all right. We're going to be good.
You've been drinking the Kool-Aid from Crenshaw because that's exactly what we've been saying all year long. Like
That's just
ever
how
since the podcast has been, me and Crenshaw have both been saying, guys, we were just in the playoffs in 2019, like,
and won a game.
With the 9-win streak.
And won a game. So it's not, come on, like, no, you're not going to play us like we the Cleveland Browns before they got good. They were 20 years. It's not like that. We consistently won the AFC South through 2010 to 2019. We've been playing damn good football in Houston.
That's what I was about to say. We're not the Jacksonville Jaguars.
What you expect? You got to start a whole new organization. I think the McNairs are doing a phenomenal job at rebuilding this organization, new energy here. I got to get a front office all props right now. I can't be mad at nothing that they're trying to do.
Preach, because I believe everything you just said. Then it's completely true. Listen, a lot of people are saying that it's been forever, and I've been saying, listen, it's only been since 2019. I gotta say, I believe everything you're saying. I think that we're on the right track. I just wanted to go back really quick on the play calling because Bobby Slowick. Some people may not realize this. Not only did he have protection stuff, but look at what he did against the Jags defense, right? The Jags actually took away Nico Collins, right? They put Tyson Campbell on him. And the way that they were getting Nico Collins open a lot of times was him getting in the seam right in the center. And if you look at the passing chart, you can actually see that they didn't even throw in the center. They're like, all right, you want to take that away? Screw you. We got other weapons here. And so, 1 week you had Nico Collins having 147 yards. The second week, you have Tank Dell with 145 yards. And if you look at that, all they did is they switched around and said, you take one weapon, we got others. And this is a combination of having good receivers, a good play caller, a great play caller, great quarterback. They all elevate each other. It's a combination of all three things that are working together. So we're in the right trajectory. And now let me ask you a question about protection, since you mentioned that. We have another injury coming up, right, with Josh Jones. Who do you think, or how do you think they should play it? Do you think that they should move George Fant from right tackle to left tackle? Or do you think they should have this guy that we just signed, Geron Christian? He actually played for us in 2021. He let up one sack in about 600 snaps. Do you have the guy that we just signed today play on Sunday, or do you move Fant to the left tackle? And if you do that, who plays right tackle?
Man, listen, I'm not that deep into it, bro. Listen, I don't know. Where is he coming from? The guy's coming from home. He's been at home this whole time. He wasn't on another team or nothing.
He was on the Dolphins.
He was on,
but he was on the practice squad and stuff. So he hasn't played since 2021 in an actual live game.
Oh Jesus. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I'm definitely not putting him out there and putting him at my left tackle. If that's what you're asking me. No, I'm gonna protect the blind side and let CJ live on the front. I don't know about that. We're in a bad shape when it comes to offensive line, man. I hope that we can continue this trajectory we've been on, because this is bad. This is really bad until we get some of these guys back. It's not good.
I mean, the other option there is to put in Austin Deculus, and I know that you've seen him, and I mean, I don't even know if he can block for anyone, whatever position he plays. I mean, that's the options, right? Like, it's either George Fant moves to left, Austin Deculus plays at left, Garan plays left, and I don't know what the best option is. I don't. To the group, everyone answer. Like, what do you guys think? What do you think they should do?
The only thing I say is wherever TJ Watt lines up, and of course he's on the right side, you got to put your most experienced guy against him, because that's the guy who's going to eat. He's going to go after the quarterback no matter what. So you got to put the most experienced person on his side, and you got to put 2 tight ends, a fullback, a running back, whatever you got to do to protect.
That's when that dirty work got to come out. That's when he got to catch a couple of them chip blocks in them ribs, and you knock the life out of him a few times, and he start looking around that corner before he come around there hauling ass like that. That's where the running back's got to do that dirty work. I tell a running back, dog, do not get a play fake and go through the line and don't hit something. Any different jersey showing I'm on a play fake, I'm trying to knock your shit loose on the way to my route. You got to punish them D linemen every time you get a chance. Because they punishing you the whole game. Every time I got a chance to hit a D lineman, I'm trying to crack something. So we got to have that mentality, especially against this white kid, because he's special. And you know they're going to move him all around. So, we got to live with it, man.
Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, like you said, they can move him all around like his brother. His brother was on this side, he was on that side, so it's really hard. It's really hard to say where I'm gonna put anybody at. But still, for left tackle, I want the most experienced guy. I think you should just move Fant to the left side and deal with whoever's on the right side, because I don't want CJ to catch no hit and fuck him up. We don't need that shit right there, man. So
yeah. We don't need another Bryce Young.
No,
I want to say that. All right, Jonathan, I think you're right there that we have to hit him hard, but I want to give a shout out to Brevin Jordan, because I gave him a lot of shit in the offseason. And he's been blocking like crazy. He's blocking dudes that are 100 pounds heavier than him, and he's taking them out. Brevin Jordan, not only did he have that touchdown reception, which awesome, but the way that he's blocking, holy crap! I am really, really impressed with Brevin Jordan. So I agree with what you're saying. You got to hit him hard. You got to let him remember it. I think you do have to throw in. I think you do have to throw in a lot of blockers there to stop the Watt. But again, we do have tight ends. TQ, another amazing blocker. This dude is taking out DNs. So we do have a way to protect him outside of just the O-line, and I think Bobby Slowick will take advantage of that. I just don't know what the actual starting lineup is going to be, because
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, because I don't want Deculus out there. I'll tell you that. I mean, that's the one thing that I don't want. Other than that, I just don't have a clue.
All right, Chris, well, you tell us what do you think how this game's gonna go? What's your thoughts on it?
We're gonna try to establish a run because we haven't established it, but we're gonna try. And like VT say, that's their weakness. Establish a run. If you get that going, we can get our play actions going and everything. Defense, like we're gonna get Petrie back, so then we finally gonna have both our 2 starting safeties back there, and I think they're gonna shut a lot of shit down. I'm thinking it's gonna be a Texans win. We ain't had a win at home since 2021. So I think we're gonna go out there and beat them 24-14.
Okay.
Their offense is trash. So if they score points, it's going to be defensive special teams. Their offense is fucking trash.
So they're gonna make it embarrassing for Watt's brothers as ceremony, huh?
Yeah. Make it
Right.
I mean,
NRG, listen, NRG better be popping. NRG better be popping Sunday.
In front of the parents and everything. We go embarrass all.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Jonathan, because now I want to say something to the fans. You're right. NRG used to be popping. It's a big game for a big legend, and it's a big momentum shift. Do not sell your tickets to Steelers fans. I know you want a quick buck. I know you want to make money, But this is the time to be a fan and get your ass in those seats. Quit being a fair weather fan. Oh, I'll go when they start being good. Nah, fuck that noise. We need you there. We need you there now. So fans all out there.
If we going by what I seen on Sunday Night Football, it was like 70% Steelers fans in Las Vegas. So I think they gonna take over the stadium Sunday.
Why
Bro.
do us
I
like
think
this?
they go them terrible towers gonna be up in there, man. They gonna take over the stadium.
No.
They travel too deep. They travel too deep.
Yeah, they definitely travel. Now, I'm hoping that with this J.J. Watt situation, H-Town showed up and bought them tickets up. So just because of that, I think they won't have as many people. I think that the city of Houston is going to show up and represent for that J.J., and I think it's going to be nothing but red in there. We're going to go in there and turn up. I can't see
And
them
they
coming.
should.
They cannot come in here and take over Homecoming and the Ring of Honor. But I'm going to disown Houston if they let that happen this week. Man. No way.
And you're right, and they should, right? I mean, it's Battle Red Day. Like, you should get out there and rep for the Texans, especially like you said, rep for JJ. He did a lot for. I know a lot of fans said he didn't, but he did a lot for the city of Houston during the hurricane. So you gotta show this man some love. He did a lot off and on the field. I mean, the dude broke his back for the Texans, so at least we can break our asses in the seat, watch him. Watch him embarrass his brothers on Sunday. What would be a great sight. So, Jonathan, what is your prediction? What's the score prediction if you had to give one?
Man,
what
I hate
you got?
predictions, man. Just win. By half a point. Just win. I don't care about the score. I promise you I don't. Just get the W and let's move on to next week. I do want to see my offense put some points up, obviously. Now, we need to put up, 24, 21, 28 points on offense. And we let the chips fall where they may, man. We just got to go in here and get a W by all means necessary. But I do want to see their offense continue to grow and continue to build that momentum.
Okay, I love it. Hey, a W's a W, right? No way you say it. BT.
I think we're going to win this one. Obviously, my biggest question is who's going to play left tackle, but I think it's going to be a little lower scoring than I hear here. What I'm hearing right now, I think it's really going to be more around like a 17-14 win. It's going to be a close game at the end of the day. Their defense is fantastic against the pass. They have Joey Porter Jr. over 45 coverage snaps. He's allowed only one catch. He's had a pass deflection. He's got he allows a 39.6 passer rating. That's it.
We blazed him at Ohio State.
I'm sorry?
We blazed him at Ohio State when he was
Gotcha.
at Penn State. We can get busy on him too.
All right.
I love it.
I think that the defense obviously is going to be the best defense that we've played so far. That's the only reason why I think that we're why I'm saying 17 points. But I think we get out the win because I think that their offense can't compete with us. That's what I think. I think their offense is just too anemic. We have a more powerful offense, so we'll get a lot of third down conversions. We'll be able to put more points on the board at the end of the day. And I think that's what it comes down to. Their defense is going to stifle us a bit. We're probably going to have a bit more 3-and-outs than we had in the past. But I still think that when it's all said and done, we come out with the dub.
Okay, so I got to give my explanation before I give my prediction because I know I'm going to get hell for this. But I'm a baseball fan by heart. I love baseball. Baseball player from little league all the way to college. I still got my baseball traditions. I predicted the Texans to lose last week, and they got a W. So I'm predicting the Texans to lose 27-24. It's going to be a game. But the Texans going to lose, okay? Hey, I got to keep my predictions.
I'm not mad. It's all good. Listen, they still got to go out there and put that hand in the dirt and get it done. We guess. All of us are guessing. That's why I'm telling these media gurus, bro, you're guessing. You don't know what's about to happen on Sunday.
I'm putting on the same shorts I had on Sunday, the same still tipping 44 jersey I had on. Like, I'm not changing nothing until we lose. Like, it's just how it is.
It's going to depend on what defense shows up. If that defense that shows up against the coach shows up, then but listen, this is like you said, the first time we got Petrie and Ward together. I'm expecting the defense to be head hunting. So and I know they're embarrassed by that first game at home. So that I know Coach Ryans is drilling that in their head. God, we played terrible in our first game at home. I think they're gonna get some get back this week.
And also, yeah, we give a shout out to Shaquille Griffin. Like he played lights out.
He did.
Coming back with Stingler's injury. So hopefully it's a no-fly zone with Kenny Pickett. I can see it being fact. So hopefully he can keep it going. Grimsall, BT, y'all have any questions for Jonathan before we head out of here?
Yeah, I do.
I have just a few more comments based on what we saw at the Jags game and what we could see again. No one's talking about Blake Cashman. He had a great game. Not only did he have that interception, but he's hitting dudes hard. He had the fumble recovery as well. Shout out to Blake Cashman. Great pickup. He only paid got him for like a 6-round pick. I understand that he has been injured, but when he's on the field, he's amazing. Christian Harris, he has had a bunch of missed tackles, but he made a great play against the run against the Jags. 77 was coming at him. He essentially just juked to the left, got around 77, made the tackle against ETN that would have gone for a long run. So again, another shout to Christian Harris, who's improving. Henry To'oTo'o, we saw him struggle in the preseason and didn't do great against the Colts, but at the Jags, he showed up. Henry To'oTo'o hitting dudes hard. So again, we are seeing progress to some of these rookies and second-year guys, and I think that that's definitely what I want to people to understand is that we are improving, not just CJ Stroud, not just the offense, but on defense. We're getting these guys better, and I think that's the D'Amico difference. That's why we have D'Amico here, is to improve these guys. So, we are going to have PP Ward for the first time. Yes, so you're right, Matt. I'm expecting a lot, but let's not forget that Christian Harris is out there and he's getting better. Henry Toa's out there. He's probably going to play for Perryman again because Perryman did not practice this week, and so he's getting better. So these rookies, they're doing really, really well, and I just want to give a shout out to them and say keep it up because. By the end of this year, they could be superstars.
All right. And Grimsall, you said you had a question?
Yeah, I just want to know, Jay Wells, can you tell us briefly how was that Beyonce concert?
I'm gonna keep it. You want me to keep it a buck with you?
Please do.
I was watching the Buckeyes.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
We was in the suite. I was watching the Buckeyes the whole game, so I wasn't thinking about Beyonce until after the game went off. Good thing about it, she was late, so by the time the game went off, she was just coming on. So I did get to enjoy the show. Amazing show, Queen Bee, Queen of the. Come on, man, you know what time it is. B gonna put on every time. I thought they might have had a couple more features, but she only brought out Meg Thee Stallion for a split second, but. Everything was great, man. Presentation, music. I didn't know a lot of the new stuff. I'm old Beyonce, but I thought it was amazing.
So you didn't catch 3-6 Mafia, huh? You caught Beyonce instead of 3-6?
Who they was there?
They were at the who was Jelly Roll concert.
Hey, listen, that's one of my favorite groups though. Don't play with them. 3-6 Mafia now. Bro. I grew up on 3-6 Mafia out there.
I was a half on the sack fan until it was a TikTok. Way before it was a TikTok.
DJ Paul, I rock with the Memphis boys and I don't play with them.
Yeah, Juicy J is my top 5 of greatest lyricists. So yeah. All right. Any more questions?
No, that's it.
Since we're talking about music, I got to ask this question. Best rapper of all time, Jonathan.
Best running back?
Best rapper of all time.
Bro, this is such a flawed argument. It's like LeBron versus Jordan. There's no way you could do it. There's no way you could really get an answer. I just go with Lord. Because I got favorites from coast. I got a favorite on the East Coast. I got a favorite from the South. I got a favorite. So my favorite East Coast rapper is Nas.
Okay.
All right. I can respect that completely.
Yeah. Then now, if we talking about down south, I'm gonna start with New Orleans. I'm gonna go with Juvenile. I'm gonna go with Wayne. You know what I'm saying? Okay. One of them. Juvie popped it off, but Wayne, longevity wise, can't compete with him. Just a lot of great artists, man. Bone Thugs and Harmony, one of my favorite groups of all times. So, I don't really get into that who's the best of all time, man. That's just a couple of my top guys.
My West Coast got to be Cube. I love me some Ice
Cube,
Cube.
yeah. One of the greatest, for sure.
Well,
everyone knows my answer. Mine is Biggie. He'll forever be my favorite rapper of all time.
Well,
I like it.
And speaking of the GOATs, in the wise words of Crenshaw, this is the worst of the show because it's the end. Jonathan, why don't you tell everybody where we can find you on social media and what you got popping and outside of football so that way we can follow your greatness and support you, my man.
Man, I'll just be chilling, man. Y'all can find me on my J Wells Media Group on Instagram. I just started going live like directly after the Texans game go off. I go live and give my little spiel of what I thought about it. I've been doing that for like 5 years after Ohio State games, but on Facebook. So I just trying it out, seeing what type of traction we could get. But man, I'm low key right now, man. I do my thing with the Texans. Me and my wife, we have successful businesses in the hotel industry. We travel a lot, so I'm about traveling, man, seeing the world and staying away from these haters and suckers.
Well, if you ever come to the worst city ever, Kansas City, make sure you hit me up and I'll wine and dine you.
I thought you was in Houston. I didn't know you was in Kansas City. That's crazy.
I wish. I hate it up here.
Gotcha.
Not just because of the people and where it's at. It's just the Chiefs fans, man. They're becoming the new Cowboys fans.
Nah, you can't compare them to Cowboys fans. They actually winning championships.
Bro, after week one, I had a guy at work tell me that they need to trade Patrick Mahomes.
Oh,
I was like,
okay, yeah.
I was like,
I get it.
I'll take him. I'll take him over here. But Crenshaw, tell us where we can find you. What you got cooking, bro?
You can find me at Fit for Crenshaw. Jonathan, if I see you on Sunday at the game, say what's up to you. And shout out to everything you're doing. Shout out to John Curtis Christian School. Shout out to that.
They about to put me in the Hall of Fame in a couple of weeks, man. I got to go to New Orleans.
Already, man. Already.
I'm excited about that, man. That we get it in down there when it comes to that football in New Orleans. So I'm happy about that.
What's up, man? Well, congratulations, man. Mm-hmm. Congratulations. Big T, what about you?
You can find me on Twitter, Threads, everywhere at Brown Chubby Bear. I'm usually talking Texans. Do talk about other teams as well when I go to other Twitter spaces. So find me. Let's talk a little bit about the Texans and the NFL.
And you can find me at A1 Day 1 Texans everywhere. You can find me on the AFC South Fan Battle podcast on Mondays where I rub it in Jaguars' face that they can't beat us, especially Trevor Lawrence. He has never beaten C.J. Stroud in his whole career, and so I make sure they hear about it. And then I've been writing some nice articles on the Fan Battle Sports Network, so make sure you check that out the website, and you find the podcast, Texans Fan Battle everywhere. Good stuff, good content with amazing people like Jonathan. So make sure you follow up, guys. Until then, let's hopefully we talk about a win next week. Till then, have a good week, and we'll see y'all there.
This is Crenshaw, Briggs, and VT. We want the touchdown.